Good evening and welcome to the 30-Day Mental Diet. I'm Pastor Jeffries from the Philadelphia Church of Universal Brotherhood located at 530 Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, New York. And it's good to be with you again this evening. We're going to be talking about using the power of love. This is lesson 21 in the 30-Day Mental Diet. We've been moving right along and we've been having some good sessions and bringing out some very uh, notable and significant practices and ideas. It's for many of us, it's a reminder. For some of us, it's a brand new idea and a brand new way of living. But before we get started, I'd like to open up with a word of prayer. Eternal Father and our God, we're thankful for your goodness. We're thankful for your grace. We're thankful for your wisdom and your knowledge. We're asking you to allow us to tap your mind for wisdom and information. We're asking you to open our minds and give us understanding of the information we're going to cover tonight. Be with us as we study is our prayer. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now, we're studying from 30-Day Mental Diet by Willis Kennard. That's a book that we use every year by Willis Kennard. And he actually speaks about using the power of love. He says love alone makes life worthwhile. So we're going to start right in. I want to remind you also that these 30-Day Mental Diet lessons end on April the 19th, which is the Grand Passover service. The Grand Passover service is going to be held in Brooklyn at 530 Eastern Parkway, um, right at the corner of Nostrand and Eastern Parkway. The service begins precisely at 5 p.m. We want you to be there a few minutes earlier so you don't miss anything. And we want you to bring a friend. You're sure to enjoy the Passover service. We celebrate Passover, as you know, because Jesus is our Passover. Everybody's invited. I'll see you there on April the 19th at 5 p.m. Now, using the power of love, it could be said that the most important single thing in your experiencing of a more worthwhile life is your capacity to love. Love has been described as the greatest thing in the world, a force that cannot be resisted and that establishes peace and harmony. Love establishes peace and harmony. And everybody wants to live in peace and harmony. It's so difficult to do, and you see so little of it nowadays that we are all welcoming. You are probably so used to hearing songs about it and reading what poets have to say about love that for the most part you have failed to recognize the important practical benefits of love in your daily life. Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall have everlasting life. I believe that, I live that. Anything that the Bible says is true. We all know that. The necessity of love. Love is a need, it's a necessity. To establish and maintain a mental and emotional attitude of love is essential in every aspect of your life. You're never devoid of a reaction to a person or situation, and when you are not capable of having a favorable attitude, you find yourself with one which contains resentment and hate and dislike. Love alone is a constructive factor, and contrary to love is destructive. Anything that is not of love is destructive. I want you to remember that. When you lack love, you are denying yourself the very thing that you say you most desire, which is a more worthwhile life. We all want a more worthwhile life. Actually, you have no choice as to whether or not you shall love. It is a matter of necessity, for without it, every aspect of your experience deteriorates. We don't really have a choice but to use love because we need love. Love is a necessity. The nature of love. Let's talk a little bit about the nature of love. It has been pointed out that love is a fundamentally a recognition. Love is fundamentally a recognition of the interdependence of all things and the realization that there must be cooperative relationships. The dynamic force of love goes far beyond the, the intimate relationship between man and woman. Beautiful and sublime as it is, it applies to harmony. Love applies to harmony that must exist between all parts of life: family, neighbors, associates, states, and nations. There is no undertaking of man that can deprive itself of the action of love without suffering the effects of its detrimental opposites. Love alone provides harmony, constructive endeavor, and a mutual well being. This thing called love is a wonderful thing. We've been studying the book, and anytime the book talks about life, a lot of times it's capitalized because life is good and it represents God. God is love. So we need God in our lives and we strive to keep love active in everything we do and have an attitude of love. Physical effects. What many people do not realize is the vital importance of an attitude of love on their physical well being. There is practically no function of the body that cannot be adversely affected by its lack. A lot of times when we're not at ease and we're not in an attitude of love, it affects our pressure, it affects our heartbeat, it affects the nervous system in our bodies, and it affects our health. So it's good to have a healthy attitude. It's good to have an attitude of love. When you love is transcendent in your life, everything is easy. Everything is easy. Easy like Sunday morning, if you will. And it is a good thing to maintain a healthy and a loving attitude. There's practically no function of the body that cannot be adversely affected by the lack of love. The book says it like this. Willis Kennard in the 30-day mental diet says there is practically no function of the body that cannot be adversely affected by its lack. Conversely, the person who is able to embody a feeling of love in every respect finds that his body functioning in a more harmonious manner. The body functions better when we have an attitude of love because attitude of love produces a great calm, easiness in our lives. Now, our mental aspects are also affected. Equally obvious, the book says, is equally obvious is the effect of a lack of love on the way you think. When hatred and animosity instead of love fills your mind, there's turmoil, confusion, and lack of constructive thinking. That's it. That's interesting. Think about that. Yeah, when hatred and animosity and instead of love is the main thing you're thinking about, that attitude that you have, it brings up and it stirs up turmoil and confusion and and it affects your thinking. You can't produce constructive thoughts when you're harboring anger and there is no love or you're thinking about hatred and it's not a good thing to do. You have to get rid of that. When intense dislike is uppermost in your thought, it becomes an obsession and it dominates everything you do and say in a negative manner. Everything you do and say is in a negative manner. It's not productive. So don't do it. Get rid of it. You want your mental aspects clear. You want them to be concise. You want to be clear headed. And you want to think productive thoughts, thoughts of prosperity, thoughts of well being. You produce with your thoughts. Thoughts are things. We control our lives with our thoughts and we produce what we want in our lives with our words. Words and thoughts. You're made in the same image and likeness as the Creator. And His omniscient mind, you have access to. And He gave you the power to choose. So choose to use this power of love. God is love. Choose to use His power. On the other hand, a mental attitude of love permits an orderly and constructive process of thought. Dissatisfaction with your present state of affairs can urge you on to a greater achievement. But when you permit this dissatisfaction to grow into hatred, then you will find that your thinking is so distorted that creative endeavors is impossible. It slows you up. It clogs up the flow and the influx of good thoughts. You have to keep an attitude of love. Think loving thoughts. Think good thoughts. Think productive thoughts. And not only will it help you, but it will help those around you. You know, all of us carry an aura. You know, you have a aura that you give off. It's either light or it's a dark aura. When you think of love, when you are acting in a loving way, when you're kind, the aura is light. Jesus is the light of the world, and you're just like Him. So when you are in Him, the same light He gives off emanates from you. You are the light of the world. I want you to understand that. And light attracts, right? Love is a magnet. Speaking of attraction, love is a magnet. I love this part of the book. Willis Kennard talks about love is a magnet. You must never overlook the fact that any feeling contrary to a sense of love is depriving you of things you would like the most. Those emotions you strongly feel have the ability to draw into your experience their tangible counterparts. In other words, what you think you draw to. When you think good thoughts, when you think loving and kind thoughts, when you're forgiving, and you draw people of the same nature, and you draw good things that will help you and help others around you. The emotions you strongly feel have that ability to draw into your experience the tangible counterparts. You produce these good things that you're thinking. You know, when we spoke earlier about when you when you envision something, it is outpictured, it becomes manifest in your life. But when you think loving thoughts, they produce loving reactions and loving output in your life. Whether such feelings concern situations, conditions, or people, you will only be able to find your experience a reflection of the way you feel. That's powerful. I'm going to read that again. Whether such feelings concern situations, conditions, or people, you will only be able to find in your experience a reflection of the way you feel. So when you feel good, you're going to reflect good things. You're going to find that when you feel good, it's going to be a reflection of your good feelings that come manifest in your life, that you produce in your life. So it helps you. The important thing is not to struggle against undesirable experiences, which evidence a lack of expressions of love, but instead remold them by remolding your thoughts so that it is a complete embodiment of love. You start with yourself to change the world about you. Like begets like. You're going to draw like things that like your thoughts. You have loving thoughts. You're going to beget. You're going to draw like a magnet good things to you. Love is essential. The person who is not loved or who seems incapable of loving soon finds that his life begins to wither away. For your physical and mental welfare, you must develop the capacity to love. Because if you don't, you not only deprive yourself, now get this, you also deprive those that are around you. I'm going to read it the way it is from the book, in the book, okay? It said for your physical and mental welfare, you must develop the capacity to love. Because if you don't, you not only deprive yourself, but others of the benefits of this constructive power. Love may be said to be an essential aspect of all living things. And if you fail to incorporate it in your living, you cut yourself off from life. Love may be said to be an essential aspect of all living things. And if you fail to incorporate it in your life, you cut yourself off from life. You know, there was a story that I once heard about a child that was very sick and he was cold and he was a twin and he longed for warmth and love and they took his other twin and put it next to the twin that was sick and was deteriorating. He was going down. And when the other twin, his brother, got next to the twin, he showed love to his brother and he warmed him up. And immediately they started to see a change. And it went from deterioration and it turned around. And things started going up and the baby felt better. Why? Because you got love and you got warmth and there was an exchange of that attitude and that feeling of love. And that's the way it is with us too. When you show love, you get love. Love begets love. All right? Growing up, the capacity to increase your experience of the benefits of love is a never ending process. That capacity to increase your experience of the benefits of love is ongoing. You have to start removing every big and little negative attitude you can discover within yourself. If it's negative, get rid of it. Be honest with yourself. Be a disciplinarian and get rid of it. You'll do yourself good and you'll do your family good and you'll do your loved ones good when you change your attitude. Get rid of all the negative attitude. Uh, you start being constructive rather than adding to what you already might dislike. The greatest constructive creative force is love. The greatest constructive creative force is love. And you can use this power to remold, transform, and renew your whole experience in life. And I like that. You can remold, transform, and renew your entire experience in living. And that's great. So let's put this to use. Let's take it serious and let's try it. Let's put it to the test. This mental stimulants. Tonight we're talking about science. Pritchard Sorkin. Pritchard A. Sorkin says this. He's a scientist. He says, love is the universal creative force. Love replaces the struggle for existence by harmonious and mutual aid. That's pretty good. Philosophy says this love is the substantial bond between the universal and the individual, the divine and the human. Love is God Himself, and apart from it, there is no God. Love makes man God and God man. That is very, very, it's true. It's biblical too, but it's also universal. It's a concept that is actual fact. So it's true, it's factual, it's biblical, and it's for you. I want to read it one more time because it's deep. Love is a substantial bond between the universal and the individual, the divine and the human. Huh? Love is God Himself, and apart from it, there is no God. Love makes man God and God man. That's deep. And who said that? Ludwig Feuerbach. He's a philosopher. Ludwig Feuerbach. Religion weighs in. Religion says, by love serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. That's found in Galatians, in the Bible in Galatians 5:13 and 14. We're coming to the close of this lesson, and every lesson has a diet. And I want to share that diet with you tonight. I want you to read along with me if you have the book. And if you don't have the book, then I want you to think of this in the first person and follow after me or repeat after me. The diet says, all is the creation of the harmonious action of God, an expression of God's love. It is in this love that I live, move, and have my being. I now declare that in everything I am and do, I accept a greater influx and outflow of the love that is God. I want to read that again. I now declare that in everything I am and do, everything I am and everything I do, I accept a greater influx of, and outflow of the love that is God. As I love, I am loved. As I help another, I am helped. My whole life is filled with a sense of love for all people. My way is made clear, my cup runneth over, my body is made whole, and my experiences are happy through the creative power of the God-like love that I express in all ways. The love I express brings joy to others and returns to me, making my life worthwhile. Regardless of what confronts me, I meet the situation with the creative, constructive force of love, which makes all things right. The love that is God, the great motivating power of all life, I recognize as actively renewing and transforming every aspect of my experience. Love alone rules my life. Isn't that good? Isn't that good? What a great way to live. Uh, Love, harmony, cooperation, and mutual assistance is the very foundation of my life. That's the first sentence in the capsule supplement. This is the supplements the entire lesson, and it puts it in a nutshell for us. And I'm going to read that again. It says, love, harmony, cooperation, and mutual assistance is the very foundation of my life. In my every thought, emotion, and action, I express only love, and this divine power makes everything right in my world. I want us to take that in. I want us to think about it. I want us to live that way tomorrow. I want you to turn a new leaf in your life and learn to use the power of love. Love alone makes life worthwhile. And when you put it to practice, you're not the only one that benefits. Those that are around you, those that are in your perfume, those that are close to you will benefit because the aura and the energy that you give off will be a powerful energy of love and constructive thinking. And it is contagious. It draws people in. I want you to think about this. I want you to pray about it and ask the, the one mind, that one intelligence, the omniscient mind, that universal mind and power to assist you, God. Ask God to help you to achieve the greatness that is within you by using the power of love. It's His power. God is love, and it is His power that we're asking Him to use. And don't forget to mark that date, April the 19th, 5:30, and come and visit us. We're also there every Sabbath at 5:30 Eastern Parkway. Every Saturday we're there from 10 o'clock in the morning when we start the seminar right on through, and the main service starts at 11:30, and we're out by 1:30. So it's a good time, and you're well fed. You'll enjoy. It's like a one big happy family, and you're invited. God bless you. Have a good evening, good night's rest. See you here tomorrow evening, 9 o'clock. Spread the word and have a good night.